Healing the child inside you, a soothing story for inner child recovery. There's a moment in adulthood, sometimes quiet, sometimes abrupt, when you realize that the person you're trying to heal isn't the grown-up sitting in meetings or paying bills or staying awake at 2 a.m. It's the little version of you, the one who learned to stay silent to keep the peace, the one who worried too much, the one who felt too responsible too early, the one who carried fear like a backpack because no one ever took it from them. I once worked with a man named Michael who walked into my office carrying a heaviness he didn't have words for. When he sat down, he looked tired in a specific way, the kind of tired that doesn't come from lack of sleep, but from carrying emotional weight for decades. He said, "I don't know why little things hurt me so much. A tone, a look, a moment of criticism. I'm 34 years old. Why does my chest feel like I'm 6 again?" Most people don't expect inner child wounds to show up in adulthood, but they do. They show up in overreactions you can't explain, in the need to please everyone, in the fear of upsetting people, in the quiet panic when someone is disappointed in you, in the guilt that doesn't match the situation, in the sense of being too much or not enough. Michael told me he didn't remember anything dramatic from childhood. Nothing terrible happened, he said. But as he talked, small pieces began to surface. The way his father sighed when he made mistakes, the way his mother shut down emotionally when she was stressed, the way he felt he needed to be the easy kid, the one who didn't cause trouble. He learned not to need anything. He learned not to cry. He learned to be useful instead of vulnerable. That's trauma too, just a quieter kind. Inner child wounds aren't always born from loud chaos. Sometimes they're born from emotional absence, from feeling invisible, from being praised for strength instead of comforted for pain, from having no one to turn to when the world felt too big. "I think I grew up too fast," Michael said at one point. That's usually the key. Children who grow up too fast become adults who feel too small. I asked him when he remembered feeling small for the first time. He looked down, took a breath, and said, "Second grade, I brought home a drawing I was proud of. My dad didn't look up from the newspaper. He said, 'That's fine.' And I felt embarrassed for wanting him to care." That moment shaped him more than he realized. He learned that wanting attention was wrong. He learned not to expect praise. He learned that being proud of himself was risky. Kids don't interpret moments logically. They interpret emotionally. They turn single experiences into lifelong beliefs. "I guess I stopped showing people things after that," he told me. Of course he did. It wasn't about the drawing. It was about the message he absorbed. Your excitement is not welcome here. When Michael became an adult, he didn't show people his accomplishments. He dismissed praise. He apologized for taking up space. He felt like he needed to earn every ounce of kindness. He said, "It's like there's this small kid inside me waiting for someone to finally say, 'I see you.' But I don't think anyone ever will." That's where the work began. Not with budgeting his emotions, not with just being more confident, not with mantras pasted on mirrors. The work began with acknowledging the truth. There is a child inside you, a real psychological part of you, and he's still waiting. Healing the inner child is not about revisiting the past as punishment. It's about giving the younger version of you something they never received. Safety, recognition, softness, consistency, compassion. I asked Michael, if that little boy walked into this room right now, what would you want to say to him? He froze. Tears filled his eyes before a single word came out. I'd tell him I'm sorry he had to feel alone and that he deserved better. That's when the real healing started. Over the next few months, something began to shift. Not dramatically, he didn't suddenly feel whole or completely unburdened. Healing rarely happens in sudden breaks. It happens in gentle dissolving. Michael started talking to his inner child not out loud, not theatrically, but in small moments. In the morning when he brushed his teeth, in the car before work, when he felt anxious for no reason, he'd say internally, "Hey, I'm here. You're safe now." The first time he tried it, he told me, it felt weird, but something in me relaxed, just a little. He began recognizing when his reactions weren't adult Michael, but child Michael. The panic when someone was disappointed in him, that was the child. The fear of bothering someone, that was the child. The guilt for resting, that was the child. The instinct to apologize for existing, that was the child. Once he could name it, he no longer felt ruled by it. One day he said something that became a turning point. I realized the child in me doesn't need perfect parents. He just needs me to show up. Inner child healing isn't about recreating childhood. It's about offering yourself the empathy your younger self needed. It's about being the adult you wish you had, patient, gentle, emotionally present. Michael started doing small nurturing things, buying himself the snack he loved as a kid, sitting in the sun for a few minutes each morning, taking time to play, not to perform or achieve, but simply to enjoy, allowing himself to rest without guilt. These tiny gestures weren't childish. They were rebellions against years of emotional deprivation. One day he described a moment that moved him more than he expected. I was cleaning my apartment, and I found an old notebook from middle school. Inside it, I had written, "I wish someone would listen to me." I just sat there holding it and thought, I'm listening now. I'm here. And for the first time, I didn't feel alone. That's what inner child healing ultimately is. The moment you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you and begin rescuing yourself. He didn't become fixed. He became connected. He didn't become fearless. He became compassionate with his fear. He didn't erase the child inside him. He embraced him. The adult you are today carries the power your childhood never had. You get to offer yourself softness. You get to rewrite the messages you absorbed. You get to protect the child who couldn't protect himself. You get to become a safe place. And that's why I want to leave you with this. There is a child inside you still hoping for someone to show up. Someone patient, someone gentle, someone who sees them. You can be that person. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know exactly how to heal. You just have to begin. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about expanding your present. So the child inside you finally has room to breathe. They waited a long time for you, and you're finally here.